To create a reader sequencer script, we will use the reader sequencer section of the commands window here on the left. When we create a reader sequence, what happens is we give the CTS3 a set of predefined steps to execute in real time. This means we have to configure and create the sequence ahead of time. It is then deployed to the CTS3, executed in real time, and the results are returned to us. It is not like the normal script editor where the steps execute one at a time on commands from the PC. In order to create the reader sequencer, first thing we need to do is open the reader sequencer section. So we can go down here to open reader sequence. Next, we need to tell it which card type we're going to use, because we have to be specific about our commands. So we will tell it that we're going to use a type A card. So we'll go here to add configure, select card type, type A. Next we'll tell it which data rate we want to use. We'll stick with the default 106 kilobits per second. Next, we'll power on the reader, much like we did in the other scripts. Then, we have to send an exchange command. This is where the reader sequencer differs from the normal script editor, because here we have to tell it exactly what hexadecimal value we would like to send, rather than telling it send a generic type A request. So on the right side here in the command parameters, we'll tell it the frame value is 26. It's going to be a short frame, so we'll take away the set bits automatically and change this to 7 bits. And we do not want to include the CRC. Now, the anti-collision sequence has some back and forth commands. So we will just use the anti-collision and select step that's available to us here in type A. Then we would just power off. So our sequence has been written, but now we have to tell it to actually execute the sequence. So we'll go back down and select execute reader sequence, and then close reader sequence. And now our sequence is ready to run. So again, what will happen is NP Manager will send the series of commands to the CTS3. It will then execute the sequence and send back the result. Individual steps are not reported back, only the success or failure of the entire sequence. So let's highlight the first step and run it. It looks like our sequence has executed successfully. This is how we create and run a reader sequence.